What's up, guys? We're back with another video. If you are new here, my name is Sammy and we are the Mermaid Gang. This is where you can come and suspend your disbelief and see my cat. I am your favorite YouTuber and your favorite manifestation coach, so if you would like for me to help you dissolve whatever is between you and your manifestation, go ahead and sign up in the description box below. I want to talk about why you probably don't have your SP yet, or why they're not who you want them to be. I have noticed a pattern, whether it be in comments, in the group, in my clients. I've noticed a pattern. Some of you are doing most of the things right, and then some of you are doing some of the work, and then in between or outside of doing your affirmations, you're constantly just wrecking it because you're not staying in the wish fulfilled. You're not thinking of them as the person you want them to be. First thing to understand is that you are not manipulating this version of them. For example, one person says that their SP used to be loving, kind, attentive, affectionate, right? And then for some reason, who knows, we don't always know why things change or where the assumption comes from of somebody being shitty or an asshole or whatever. We don't know where it comes from, but we just know that we can change it. So don't worry about the why. Just for whatever reason, either she expected him to start being an asshole, or maybe she got insecure in their relationship. Whatever the reason be, he changed. A lot of the times it is that for some reason the person ends up being insecure in their relationship, and then so eventually that partner is going to start treating you the way you feel about yourself. So whatever. The person who was loving, kind, affectionate, that person was one version, okay? That was one version of him, because there's infinite versions of everyone. There's infinite versions of realities, okay? There's infinite realities. There's infinite versions of people. So that first person was one version. The asshole version was a totally different version. This nice person and this asshole person are not the same version of this human, okay? This person. So you're not going to try and make this asshole version be not an asshole. You're going to select this version again. And the way you select nice version is by describing them this way. Here's where you mess up. You mess up when you're doing your affirmations, and you may be doing them pretty often, but you are reacting to their behavior. You are expecting them to be an asshole. You are still describing them outside of your affirmations. You're still describing them as an asshole, as someone who's not nice to you, doesn't call you, blocks you, ghosts you, is mean to you. Whatever the case is, you might be complaining to your friends about them. You might be just simply still thinking of them as this person, but at the same time hoping these affirmations will work for them to change. You can't do that. That is double-minded. You are wavering. You're reacting every time they don't text you back, or you're reacting every day that they don't text you at all. You're reacting to their social media. You're looking for confirmation that they've changed to find that they haven't. That is wavering, and that is why you still have the asshole version and not the nice version, because you haven't selected this version. You're wavering, and sometimes you get pieces of both because you're double-minded and you're wavering. And when you're double-minded here, your reality is inconsistent. So what I want you to do, if this is you, if this resonates with you, and you're feeling like you're doing all the right things, but when you think of this person, you still think of him as a D-bag, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go on a rampage in your mind about how fucking amazing he is, or she. How he literally worships the ground you walk on. I mean, I want you to rampage in your mind. Think of every good thing you could say about this person. If this person was like this person's situation, someone who was a good person, was nice, was a great husband or boyfriend or whatever, and then they changed, especially think of the version they used to be and describe them that way. I mean, go on a rampage like you're bragging to your friend, like, bitch, I am the luckiest person in the world because my man is so perfect. He's the best husband. He worships the ground I walk on. He buys me flowers every day. He's constantly texting me because he's constantly thinking about me. He can't stop talking to me. He can't stay away from me, blah blah blah. He's so nice, he's so attentive, he's so affectionate. He's just everything that you want him to be. I want you to rampage it in your mind over, I mean, just go on a whole story mode about how, just brag about this person. And it doesn't have to be an SP. It could be a boss, it could be a coworker, it could be a parent, it could be a sibling, it could whoever. Remember, specific person doesn't always mean relationship. Specific person is exactly what it says, a specific person. You are changing a specific person. Well, you are selecting a new version of a specific person. You are not manipulating the version that you currently are experiencing. You are selecting a whole new version of them, because the whole new version of them will not have any of the tendencies of the other one, which you don't want, right? You don't want any pieces of that douchebag personality in your perfect version. You're just selecting a new version. So you select it by rampaging. I want you to get that shit so deep in here that you expect him to behave the way that you're affirming him to behave, or the way that you want them to behave. Because when you're just doing your normal affirmations and your normal routine, but in between you're still low-key expecting him to be a douchebag, or you're searching his social media, a lot of you are checking their social media. If it's a 3P situation, you're checking to see if the 3P is gone, shit like that. You're still thinking of them as that person. You wouldn't need to do all that if you were convinced. And when you are convinced, that is when shit happens. Even if you're not sure you're convinced. When I say convinced, I mean you don't need to check, because we're easily choosing to go ahead and assume that there's nothing to check. There's nothing to check. Everything is as I want it. That person is exactly who I want them to be. Select the version of them that you want them to be. You're not manipulating the old version, you're selecting a new one, because there are infinite versions of this person. Just like the example I used a long time ago, where you can get in a relationship with a person who is generally very loyal, attentive, affectionate, but you are someone who expects people to be shitty, cheaters, rude, whatever. You will end up selecting a version of that person that is those things, because it exists for everyone. There are infinite versions, so there is every version of everybody. Select the one that you want. And the easiest way to really convince yourself, if you're struggling with my examples here, is to just go on a whole story in your head over and over and over. Think of every good thing you could say about this person and describe them as the absolute best version that you could possibly think of. And if you will do this and do it consistently and really feel that shit, I'm not saying you always have to feel it, but I'm saying in this case it really helps if you can really get into it, shut out the world, and go in there and just think of them over and over and over as this wonderful, absolutely perfect version that you want them to be. You will stop expecting them to be an asshole. You will stop expecting them to have a 3P. You will stop expecting them to ghost you. You'll stop expecting them to ignore you or not text you. You'll stop expecting these negative things. If you're still expecting the worst from these people, then you have not convinced yourself that you've selected the version that you want. And that is fine. That just means you need to keep persisting. There is never a cutoff time for when you should stop affirming, or it's too late, or it's not gonna work. There's no such thing. Give yourself the time you need to work through all the shit you gotta work through, to convince yourself that whatever it is how you want it to be, or whoever it is how you want them to be. You have that version, you have this reality. Stop doing it for a period of time and then saying, oh, well, it's been this many weeks, or it's been this long, so it must not work, or how long do I have to keep doing it? Just until it shows up. Until it shows up. Because the time it takes is dependent on you convincing yourself. So if you want it bad enough, you will spend whatever time it takes to convince yourself, and it will manifest. It is going to manifest. It is the law. There is nothing that is not going to show up if you will keep persisting. The only reason things don't show up is because you quit. That's just how it is. So yeah, that's what I want you to do. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we out.